Thank you, Minister, for being with us today. Just a few things, because a lot of the other TDs and senators have covered a lot of the questions that I would have been asking you, but it's fine. We talk about, and I respect what you're saying, that there's, farmers have to understand where there's a two-person job to wait and try and get somebody to be with them. That's not easy in a lot of farmer situations. They're under fierce pressure. We're calendar farming now. So unfortunately, in calendar farming, they're put into a corner that they have to do certain things, whether it's on their back, the date of whatever they're to do is on their back. So like they're basically a lot of the time on their own, which is a lot of farmers are supposed to suffer from rural isolation as well. So there's a lot of difficulties there. And well, you did say 7 fatalities, that's 7 too many, and I fully respect that. But the farmers are under a lot of pressure. But there's one area there, and Senator Boylan spoke about it earlier on, was about the green cert. And I was talking to you, father of a young man that's doing his green cert, and the pressures that's being put on young people today. That's maybe an area, Minister, you might look into, because you said there's a bit of funding under the health and well-being and funding and stuff like that. Young people are trying to, obviously, we all did it with anyone that did the farm course. They're out there. They're working about 35 hours a week. This gentleman is telling me his son is milking about 170 cows for a farmer. He's getting 122 euros a week, ending up at 3 hours and 48. He's 3 hours 48 cents an hour is what he's getting. Washing yards, spreading slurry, milking in the morning, milking in the evening. That young fella's got tyres in the car, diesel in the car. He has to live as well. And that's something, that's a lot of pressure for a young person to be in. You can imagine the pressure they're under. And, I'd appreciate, Minister, at some stage that could be looked at, that if there is funding available, that maybe young farmers that are trying to start off in life, and training and stuff like that, they wouldn't be asked to work for 3 hours and 48 cents, because these young fellas are decent, hard-working young lads, and they deserve that little bit more respect. And, and that's through our training system in this country. And if we're pressurising them there, how are we going to improve as time goes on? So, look, I appreciate you might, look into that at some stage, Minister. It's a very important brief you have. Farm safety is hugely important, as we all know. We all are we're on the one side in this issue. And thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Minister.
Thanks, Deputy Collins. I think, are you referencing there the work experience element of the green search?
It's the work experience. Young people are under immense pressure for 3 hours and 48 cents an hour. That's what it works out for this gentleman, and that's the case in a lot of cases. Milking 170 cows morning, evening, and all the work that surrounds that, slurry spreading. And that he's working so many weeks for 35 hours, and that's pressure, savage pressure on young fellas, and unfair pressure on them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the whole idea of the work experience is that the young farmer gains, and I know I did myself when I did it as part of my green cert over 20 years ago, working on a different farm, on a host farm, where, you make sure that, you get to experience you always learn more on another farm than you learn on your own at home, working for your parent or something. And I think it's a very valuable part of the green cert element, but I definitely wouldn't want to see any situation where someone was being taken advantage of in terms of either the amount of hours they were expected to work or that, because, work experience has its role to play. It's a very valuable experience. But definitely there needs to be safeguards around that. And if you have any specific, if you want to give me the details of that specific case, definitely will be one I'd look into, because host farmers have to be approved as well to take on those positions. And with that comes a responsibility to make sure that all the jobs that are doing is very much there's a learning element to it, because also you could talk about the type of work that you're asking them to do. There has to be a learning element to all the work that's been done there. What I would say to young farmers outside of that, though, or about young farmers, is our support for young farmers and to encourage the transition. And we have challenges when we look at farm safety, the older age of our farmers, and that the fact that we have so many farmers over the age of 65 and in their 70s farming is highlighted in the figures of farm fatalities, where we have so many who are up in their 70s, as a result of incidents. Encouraging that generational change is really important, and that's why, whether it's through partnership or through that intergenerational change, the changes we've made in recent years around long-term leasing, around the 60% TAMS grant, to encourage that generational change, are all measures to support young farmers and to encourage them not only to take over the enterprise, but to invest and to make their farmers safer and more efficient in how to do that as well.
Thank you, Minister. Minister,